Good morning again. I think now we learned the song, we danced. Let's just sit down and read a book. You can listen to the book. Today, the book which I would like to read is a book which you already know, and we all reread this book in the classroom. And I remember you all enjoyed listening to this book, so I wanted to read this again and make some sounds and remember a few things which we learned from the book. And the book is Jays. Are you excited? Great. I am excited to go through this book again with you. Meet the Jay. Walking through the woods on a warm summer's day, you suddenly hear a strange sound. Do you remember the sound? I know. Should we make the sound together? The blue jay sounds. The blue jay cry. Okay, here we go. Eh, 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 eh. You remember? Great. You look around to see where the noise is coming from. High in the treetops, you see a flash of blue fly from branch to branch. As you watch the blue streak, you hear the loud call again. What is this bird? And do you hear the call? Let's say the call again. You remember that? Great. It's a blue jay. And now, what do jays look like? Jays belong to the same group of birds as magpies, ravens, and crows. Jays are the most colorful members of this family. Many jays get their names from from where they get the names. They get the names from their colors of their feathers. The green jay is called green jay. The brown jay is called brown. And the gray jay is gray because they all have that color feathers. The blue jay is the best known member of the jay family. There are 35 species or kinds of jays in the world. All jays have beautiful feathers and sharp beaks or bills. Do you remember? Their beaks are called bills. Can you all show me their beaks, their bills? They all have two skinny legs too. Jays also have tails and that are wide and round. Some jays have feathers that stick up on their heads. Do you remember the feathers which stick up on their head? What are they called? Do you remember it? Yes, they are called crest. Some jays have feathers that stick up on their heads. These feathers are called crest. The blue jay and Steller's jay are two crested jays. They raise their crest feathers when they are scared or excited. Look at that crest. And their bills. And their tiny legs. And skinny legs. Where do jays live? Jays live almost everywhere in North America. They like to live in forests and woodlands where they can find food and play. places to make their nests. They also live in cities and towns. In fact, you can often see jays in parks or yards. About the only place you won't find jays is in the far north or in the dry deserts. What jay is this? Look at their feathers. They are gray, so this is a gray jay. And this gray jay gives some information over here at the bottom that what this gray jay is from. This little gray jay is resting on a tree branch in Wyoming. What do jays eat? I'm sure you all remember what jays eat. Let's see. Jays are omnivorous, which means they eat both plants and animals. For the most part, jays eat nuts, seeds, acorns, and wild fruits. They use their strong, sharp bills to crack open the hard shells of these tough foods. Jays often store their food in special places too. When food is hard to find, they eat their stored treats. Jays like to eat insects such as grasshoppers and moths too. They also find mice to be a tasty treat. Sometimes hungry jays will even eat the eggs. Let's learn about the jay's eggs. What are baby jays like? Jays live in pairs of males and females. When a pair of jay is ready to build a nest, they look for a place that is safe and quiet. They work hard to build a nest from twigs and grasses that they find nearby. When the nest is ready, the female lays few eggs inside it. Then she sits on them and keeps them warm. Since she can't leave the eggs, the male brings her some of the food he finds to eat. Those eggs. They have some brown specks on them. And these eggs belong to a pair of green jays. In less than 3 weeks, the baby jays, or what are the baby jays called? Chicks. The baby chicks hatch. They are very tiny and they do not have any, do you remember what they don't have when they are born? They do not have any feathers. In fact, they can't even see. They can't even see to let their parents know that they are hungry. And do you remember what they do to tell their parents that they are hungry? Did you? Yes. To let their parents know that they are hungry, the chicks open their mouths wide. Can you show me how chicks will open their mouth wide when they're hungry? Because they can't see, they can't tell, they don't have feathers to fly by themselves. So they open their mouths wide open. Let's open the mouth. And when these chicks open their mouths wide open, their parents know that they are hungry. They chirp and squeak to say, I am hungry. They just open their mouth and squeak and chirp. The parents bring food to the nest and place it in the chick's mouth. And look at these tiny chicks. They don't have feathers. They can't see yet, but they will soon do when they grow up. Some jays are cooperative breeders. This means that instead of one pair, many birds help to raise the chicks. Gray-breasted jays are one kind of jay that is a very cooperative breeder. 2 or 3 pairs of gray-breasted jays nest at one time. They all nest near each other. When the chicks hatch, all of the parents share their jobs. Each parent helps to feed the chicks and keep them safe. As many as 15 jays at one time may help to raise the chicks. And look over there. This is a gray-breasted jay, and this gray-breasted jay is keeping an eye out for some food. Do jays do strange things? They do some strange things. And I'm sure you remember those strange things which blue jays do. Jays are very smart, noisy, and sometimes pushy birds. They like to explore things, just like you like to explore things, which sometimes gets them into some trouble. The gray jay even have a nickname. They are called camp robbers because they go into the camps which people built and they try to get some food from there. And that is why they get that name, and they're called camp robbers because they go to the camps which people make and they try to find some food when they are hungry. Look at these jays with food in her mouth. And this is again a gray jay which has grabbed some cabbage from campers. Look at that, cabbage in her mouth. Jays have another strange habit too. They pick up on ants in their beaks. Let's pick up an ant in the beak. And do you remember what they do with the ant in their beaks? They put them in their feathers. This is called, you remember, I know that. And this is called picking up an ant and putting in their feathers called anting. Jays get so excited when they do this that they almost fall over. And scientists aren't sure why jays do this. Some think anting is a way for the jays to get rid of parasites. Do you remember what are parasites? We spoke about parasites. Those are some tiny animals that live in the jay's feathers and their skin. Some parasites are harmful, very harmful, and they can kill the jays. And sticking ants near the feather and sticking the ants near the skin help the jays stop the itching from the parasite. And that's why they do anting. And look at this blue jay over here in the picture. And this blue jay may be using ants to stop itself from itching. Look at that. Do you see that? Blue jay using its bill and dropping something in the feather. I think it's an ant which this blue jay is trying to drop in the feather and on the skin so that the blue jay can have some relief from the itching. What sounds do jays make? You know it, but let's go through it again. Jays make all kinds of noises. Often they copy or mimic the calls of other birds. They are so smart. They can mimic the sounds which are made by other birds as well. They can mimic a hawk's scream, a crow's song, and even a loon's call. Each species of jay also has its own special call. When jays sense danger, they make even more noise. By chattering and screeching loudly, they tell all the other jays that danger is near. All the animals hear, other animals hear the jays call too. And when the jays call, quiet down, when their call gets very, very quiet and calm, the other animals then know that the danger has passed away. So when there's a danger, when they see a danger around them, they just make very loud and very, very loud noises. And when the danger has passed away and when they want to tell us to everyone, they just make very calm and quiet noises and calls. And this blue jay is chirping as it sits in the grass. How do jays travel? Jays often travel in groups called flocks. Gray jays travel in small flocks made up of few families. Others, such as blue jays and gray-breasted jays, travel in much larger groups. By traveling in flocks, jays stay safe. When an enemy comes too close to one bird, the rest of the flock helps to chase the enemy away. And look, over here in the picture is a flock of pinion jays that has stopped to rest in a rocky area. Oh, the biggest enemies of jays are hawks and owls. These big birds love to swoop down on jays that are not paying attention. The snakes, foxes, and skunks also like to eat jays. People are also someone who can scare the jays. We often destroy the areas where jays live and eat. And that is why the jays get scared. Over here in the picture is a scrub jays, like this one, are becoming rare. This is a very different kind of a jay. It's called a scrub jay. They're becoming rare. And that's the end of the book. And I hope you enjoyed listening to the book again. And you remembered and you refreshed everything again with me. I loved reading the book to you today. And I hope you enjoyed the song. If you would like to dance again, let's go ahead and dance again. Are you ready? Okay, great. Let's get up and dance.